All right, everyone, you have arrived, and welcome to your very first character in the game. This is going to be what you load into when you first start. So, we're going to take it nice and slow. We're going to go over a couple of the hotkeys and everything, and then we are going to get progressing into town, and we are going to kill the first little mini boss and get our first level up. So, very first thing you guys want to do if you guys are new to this game, you want to look at your UI screen and understand where everything is. You got your life and your energy shield bar on the left hand side. This is this red globe right here. You have your mana bar on the right side. Keep an eye on this early game because it will go down relatively fast, but depending on your class you play, especially a witch, it will actually regen really fast as you start leveling up. I'm actually going to skip the tutorials because I'm going to be kind of walking you guys through this. Now, if you guys look right here, we have our flask bar up. Now, the default keys for these are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I believe. I might be wrong. It might be 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0, but I have all mine kind of custom keyed. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my abilities, which are going to be right here. You're going to need to use your keyboard and your mouse for this game, so keep that in mind. We will get into more of the hotkeys as we progress and play, but I like to change my flash buttons to Q, W, E, R, and T. That way I can kind of keep my left-hand fingers on the same bar setup, and it works very well for both my abilities and my flask abilities. Obviously, we have our menu right here. This gives you a list of all the screens in the game. But for right now, the two main things we are going to focus on is going to be the inventory screen and the passive skill tree screen. So let's bring up our inventory by clicking I. If you just even move once, you'll start standing up and moving. All right, you are actually officially in the game now. You're going to need to pick up your drift bond. That is standard. And you're going to need to drag and click this and equip it. Now you talk to the dying Exile, it will basically spawn the very first thing you want to kill. And all you need to do is basically just hold left click because it's your default attack. Now if you hold shift, left shift, you can basically stand in place and actually shoot your wand bolt. Now we're going to get our fireball. You need to manually equip this, but I believe there is an option to auto equip certain things. And what I like doing is I like moving my mana class from this 5th slot to this 2nd slot early game. Just makes it a little bit easier. You guys want to try saving your scrolls of wisdom early game because you're going to need these. All right, let's progress. I am actually going to give you guys a very good tip. You do not need to kill this stuff as you run through. So basically, you're watching your map right up here, run to the large chest, grab your next ability or your support gem, and equip it onto whatever your base spell is. You don't need to kill this stuff. It is a waste of time, literally. So what you want to do is you basically want to run, keep running, until you find the mini boss, which is going to be right next to the actual entrance to the town. So, like I said, if you want to kill these, you can, but you obviously don't really need to. Hillock, this is our boss we want to kill. Now, you basically, whatever your abilities are, you just want to kind of kite him around, do some damage, and basically get your first kill going. So, he will regen, that is normal. You get him to about 50% and he will regen. Now, obviously, I ran out of mana. So, mana, depending on how you guys want to say it, hit that W key to use your flask. And I'm also going to use one of my light bio flasks just to get up a little bit. Now, there we go. Fireball will give a natural fire debuff, which will burn him, which is very nice. And we're going to get some mana back again, and boom, there we go. First level. See, you don't even need to kill anything. You will automatically get 1 level. Now, early game, you want to pick up everything. Even if you're not going to use it. Look at that. We already, because of my filter, unfortunately, I forgot to disable that for this leveling experience. But if you hit Alt, it will show you all the loot on the ground, which is very nice and convenient. All right, let's jump on into town. This will automatically open. Now, this is where your scrolls of wisdom will come into play very heavily early game. The first thing you want to do is come over here to Tarkley I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these guys' names because I've never actually had to say them. So you want to click on this guy, hit space bar. That will kind of go through his little chat and his talking. And you can choose your very first ability, which since we are going to be going Summoner on this tune, I am going to choose Raise Zombie. And then you want to go to Purchase Items next. What we're going to be looking for specifically are boots. You want to go to the boot tab, and if you see a pair of boots with 10% movement speed, you want to get them. They will cost 1 scroll of wisdom, and then you can buy them. Obviously, we don't have any here. If you want to constantly keep re-rolling tunes till you get it, and just doing this rinse and repeat until you get it, you can, but I'm not going to, so we're just going to skip that stuff. You want to make sure you always talk to everybody just in case there is a little hidden quest. And then with that being said, we are going to jump to the very next thing. IDing new gear. This is going to be priority. Now, we got a yellow rare right off the bat, which is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It is an evasion one. There will be 3 primary stats: energy shield, evasion, and armor. Armor mitigates physical, evasion is just raw dodge chance, and energy shield is just basically a secondary HP pool. So keep that in mind as you guys are playing. Now what we're going to do is you are going to right click on the Scroll of Wisdom, hold shift down if you want to multiple ID things, which we are going to. You're going to ID whatever good armor you have if you want to, and then basically equip it in the slots. I'm going to do the shield, and we're going to do the boots. So basically, yes, we burned through all our wisdom scrolls, but that is fine because we just got some very nice gear early game. You could do a double wand setup versus a shield setup if you want. It will give you a little more extra damage, but I'm not going to need it right now. So with that being said, we got a 3-link too. This is big early game. So this is definitely very good. And we're going to stick our Raise Zombies in there. And basically, okay, this is kind of getting ahead of myself a little. Let me slow it down just a notch because I'm so used to playing this game. If you want to equip a skill on a bar, once you socket it, all you have to do is click on the bar where you want it and select your skill. Now, Raise Zombies, I tend to like putting on the number 2 key, at least for right now, because it just makes it easier. Number 3, I always reserve for like a movement skill because it just makes it easier for me to bounce around. But that's another story for another time. I am going to switch default attack to my fireballs for right now. And for the time being, I am only going to have this on default there. Now, what you want to do with the gear you do not need is go to sell items, hold control to multiple select items, and then just left click. It will give you a couple of scroll fragments and boom. This will basically be your starting currency. Next, I actually think I am going to do independent videos for the stash tabs and the passive skill point tabs, but we will check out our character screen real fast. This will bring up all your stats on your character, from your offense to your defense to your miscellaneouses to your charges. Minions tend not to really show up on offense as there. It just basically gives you like a generic cast per second, and it doesn't really give you any of their defense stats or anything else. It will show you if there's like plus damage percentage or evasion, but that is pretty much it. Now, if you are going caster, you will see all your stats on your fireballs in raw generic form here, or if you hover over the actual bar in the tooltip. Now, this is basically a 17.13 damage per second. We cast 1.33 fireballs per second. Total combined damage, its crit chance, its multiplier chance to add crit damage, its chance to ignite damage per second, which we will get into much more later on in the game. Now, minions are different. Minions go off of their independent gem stats, which basically, as you can see, if you quality this gem, they will get plus 20% life. We will get more into gem quality and levels a little later on, but for the most part, this is a generic, you will raise 3 zombies initially, which have basically 56 life. This will scale as this gem levels up. So don't be afraid. Your minions are going to die a lot early game, but I will show you a little tips. I will show you a bunch of tips and quirks and everything else to basically help you progress as we play a summoner early game. and I will definitely get into the loot filters and everything else you are going to need as we progress. For the next video, we are going to check out the early game passive skill tree, and we are going to basically go over the stash guides and everything. So stick around, and I will see you guys in the next video.